and we're going to start looking for sponsors within the town, local businesses, that you can advertise your space on our webpage. We'll have links go directly to your sites, and then hopefully, some kind of donation will come back to us. So we're looking for sponsors right now who maybe you have a QR code that we can put on our webpage for that. But that's basically it for right now. We're still fighting with the IRS EIN number.
Okay, so we did mention this at the Community Relations Committee, and I think what we're going to do is invite you guys, members of the KBF, to the next meeting. The town would like to do, in coordination, in conjunction with some of the 100th anniversary activities, like to bring back the carnival that we used to have. We talked about potentially doing it in the high school parking lot and the logistics of that. And the problem with that is that the town can't run it because they can't make money. So normally it would fall on an HSA, and in the past it was the high school HSA. So it really comes down to who wants to run this big fundraiser. So we were thinking maybe the KEF.
We had talked about it earlier in the year, so that would probably be fine because we had already talked about it. I already had contact information for carnival work that I believe I got from Jim Frieda. So
okay, so we'll invite you and maybe the president or whoever else from the KEF to that meeting, and we can start getting you guys connected.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, unfinished business. Does anybody have any unfinished business?
Nope.
Okay, new business. Does anybody have any new business they'd like to bring up? Okay, I think we covered most of it with some of the briefings already. Petitions and hearings of citizens for non-agenda items. You're welcome. You're welcome to come up now.
My name is Bella Piccolo. Every day I go to school, I get headaches and stomach aches because of the mask. I don't get why we can't lift the masks now, because there's no difference from now and March 7th. Wearing a mask 5 days a week, 7 hours a day, puts us at more risk than catching Omicron. I am using my voice not just for myself, but to stand up for others that feel the same way. Thank you. My name is Gia Sigatala, and I wanted to make notice of the basketball and soccer uniforms at the middle school. They're really dirty and used, and no one really wants to wear anything like that. So if you could do a fundraiser to get more, that would help. I'm Vienna. I'm Vienna Arana, and I'm in 6th grade. And when I'm at lunch, I don't have enough time to eat and buy a drink because we have to sit in the choir room without phones, staring at each other, talking to each other. And me and my friend, this one, are going around the halls because we don't want to sit in the choir room. We want to eat for the full 30, 40 minutes. So we don't have to shove food down our face, down our mouth and throw up. So please
Hi, I'm Sophia Musa and I'm in 6th grade. And
And thank you for making the mask optional. Yay. And then, like Gia was saying, the uniforms for basketball and soccer, they're all just sitting in the janitor's closet. And like Gia's uniform, it had like stains all over it, and it would be nice to like make a fundraiser. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Hello, my name is Kim Olivera. I'm a parent. I want to commend these ladies for coming out and speaking out. Thank you very much. It's no surprise my family and I have been critical of mask mandates or mandates in general. And when I got the news that the masks would be lifted on March 7th, a lot of my friends thought that I would be excited about that, but I said, no, it was supposed to be tomorrow. This was supposed to be over today. Today was supposed to be the last day that my children were walking in here with masks on. It's been 701 days since my kids have been in the school building without a mask. So now we have March 7th to look forward to. Okay, great. But I have some concerns. The first, there was a publication that I came across over the last week about Governor Murphy lifting the mask mandate on March 7th, and I had the same question everybody else did. Why are we waiting until the 7th? And I saw that one of his reasonings was ventilation. And in Kinnelon, we have installed amazing ventilation systems, right? I know some schools haven't, but then I was told by my children who attend PRM that teachers are leaving windows open all day long for ventilation, and my kids are wearing their coats all day long because it's too cold. So I'm like, well, okay, so they're already masked, they already have excellent ventilation. I don't understand why we have to continue to wait. So if we look forward to March 7th, masks are going to be optional. I think that's great. I think it should have been parent choice for a long time. But there's other things that we need to look at. I took a look at the policy, one of the policies that was tabled at the last meeting. It's the safety plan, and it really has to do with COVID policies. And I hope that the board takes a look at that and amends most of it, because a lot of it is obsolete at this point. I didn't realize that kids in the elementary school still have desk shields at lunch.
Right.
That needs to end. There's no reason for it. My kids are still not seeing their friends at school, and I know these ladies, they're in 6th grade because of distancing. They can't even be in the same room to have lunch. We have to split them up amongst, I believe it's the choir room, the cafeteria, and I think the gym as well. I could be wrong. But there's parts of that policy we need to look at, not just masks, but contact tracing. I think we're far past that. I think we need to get rid of contact tracing. Desk shields need to be eliminated. And then we get to the issue of masks on the bus. And I understand that I was meant to grab my cell phone to read the article that was in NJ12 today, if anybody wants to look it up. It says that the reason why we have to continue to wear masks on the bus is because it's a federal regulation, which is not true. I'm sorry, that's my 3 minutes. It specifically says that it's the CDC guidance that continues, which is why we need to continue to wear masks on buses. Doesn't make any sense. I hope that I see a very proactive board. Last year I didn't see a very proactive board when residents were asking for things like resolutions to the governor. It didn't happen. If we run into March 7th with any issues, I would like to see this new board really run with, working with your constituents and for your constituents on what's best for our kids. I think it's been 2 years, it's been 701 days. My kids are very much looking forward to March 7th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Good evening, Lou Wiggle, 12 Granite Drive. I'm a fourth grade teacher and a Kinlaw resident. Just a few things, I'm excited about the opportunities for our students. The STEM classes, I think, are awesome. The aviation class is great. But I'm confused, to be honest. Kids who are into science and technology, engineering, and math get that opportunity. The few kids who are interested in aviation get that opportunity. Awesome. Yet the board tabled that feminism, masculinity class. Where's the opportunity for those students? We supported a bowling team with 8 kids on the bowling team. I don't like bowling. I'm horrible at it. Maybe if I joined in high school, I'd be better. But I support those kids having the opportunity to do that. So I kind of feel like that decision to table it was based a little bit on bias and personal beliefs, rather than truly looking at, is this class going to benefit a portion of our students the same way a STEM class, an aviation class, a biology college level class would. And it's frustrating me to see people, expanding horizons and having those opportunities, but a certain portion not. It's not fair. It's not equitable. So in the same way, the former person who mentioned about the board being proactive, I too want the board to be proactive, just in a different way. Furthermore, there was something that was really upsetting. We've already handled it with the building principal, but I wanted to bring it up to the public, and it speaks to the new curriculum about diversity. My daughters were on the bus, and there was a young gentleman. I'll change his name to protect him. On the bus, there were statements made. Raise your hand if you think George is gay. Raise your hand if you think George is bi. I'm sorry, but that's unacceptable to me. That's unacceptable to my family. And I hope it's unacceptable to the residents in Kinlaw. I don't raise my family that way, and I certainly don't want my children to be exposed to that type of thinking. While I understand people have different views, that's not where our society is trending. So I know Mrs. DiGiuseppe, I know teachers have volunteered to update that curriculum and write that curriculum. I would be more than happy. I've written my district's curriculum for character education and conflict resolution with 2 other teachers. I would be happy to volunteer my time to help write that curriculum, maybe hopefully with some Kinlaw teachers. But that was really disturbing to me. I can only imagine what that young man on the bus felt as his peers and classmates and some of his thought to be friends subjected him to that. It's disgusting, and it has no place to any child. Again, we've already addressed it with the building principal. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Wiggle.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jen Portman. I was just going to piggyback off Mr. Wiggle. I also think that it would be nice for our students, average students, that's what my boys are, academically, to have more opportunities as well. My one son's very kinesthetic type of learner, and I don't find that there's a lot of opportunities in electives and that type of thing. I think there could be a lot of options on physical well-being, on sports management, or actually hands-on type of tasks. I know we have a woodworking class, but even more. I would love to see more opportunities for the average student, because I think that's probably primarily, that's the largest percentage we have. I also want to piggyback on Mrs. Oliveira. I haven't heard anyone say that our school's definitely going to be mask optional. I mean, that's what it sounded like, but I would like to confirm that with you, because I think we could have a whole meltdown of students and town if that's not communicated to the town. And I think that will help with teachers and students preparing and not being, like, getting to the situation where you do have bullying or picking on or calling out each other. It is time for the masks to be optional, for parents to make that choice. I also want our board to be more proactive in looking into our quarantine. My understanding is the masks are mandated, but I don't know how much of the quarantine policies are actually mandated, or are they just recommendations from the NJDOH and the CDC, and we, follow through. At this point, it doesn't seem right that now there's so much research out to show that the COVID vaccine